This is Meteo Mundo.
Hi everyone, Rusty back here with your latest Meteo Mundo forecast for this Tuesday, January the 9th. We are back. I hope you've been having a great start to the new year. I was on vacation with my family. We went up to North Carolina to the mountains, did some sledding, did some tubing. I snow ski from time to time. We had a fantastic time, but I'm back and I'm really excited about this new year, this 2024 here at Meteo Mundo. We have a lot of exciting new features and just new elements to these videos that we'll be rolling out as we go through the year. So excited to bring you that here at Meteo Mundo. I think it's going to be a fantastic year for us. Thank you for your support. Thank you for liking the video. As we get started, let's get right into it and talk about what's going to be a very windy forecast for a lot of our area for the rest of the week. This is the enhanced satellite imagery on this Tuesday afternoon. Now, there's a massive storm system coming through the southeast United States right now, and that will impact portions of the Bahamas. But outside of that, it's just been a very windy time for us here. This is the visible satellite imagery. We've had very strong easterlies through the Lesser Antilles and the Caribbean. And we're going to look at some of those wind speeds coming up. And then this system that'll be coming in, bringing extreme winds to the Bahamas, a good chance for strong to severe storms, and then some big changes behind that as well. But the big story really is going to be the wind. I'm going to switch over here and throw on what's going to be first the temperatures, but then I'll switch over to the gusts. So these are your wind gusts over the last 6 hours. And look at some of these numbers for us here into our Tuesday afternoon. Now we'll start off in the Leeward Islands where we've had again these strong easterlies. Barbados reported a 45-mile-an-hour wind. Now look, let me know if you live in Barbados if you really saw that wind, because it comes up and it goes right back down. It's been more persistent 25 and 30-mile-an-hour winds for places like St. Lucia and Martinique and Dominica, and they've had some heavier rain to go along with those strong easterly winds. So from time to time, and in isolated areas, we've had some very heavy rainfall in portions of those areas. And again, you can see these winds are just howling through the windward and the Leeward Islands. You get up towards Anguilla, 30-mile-an-hour wind. And then for places like Anguilla and Barbuda and Antigua, we have a high surf advisory. These east winds are kicking up the seas and the surf conditions 1.5 to 2+ meters. That's more than 6 feet from time to time. High surf advisories have kind of been on and off, and I expect them to continue. I don't think these east winds go anywhere anytime soon. So again, look for high surf advisories and rough sea conditions throughout this area. The winds have been very strong and persistent in the British and the Virgin Islands. You can see St. Croix with a 30-mile-an-hour wind gust. Same thing for my friends in Puerto Rico, 30-mile-an-hour winds in San Juan. Again, these are all mainly out of the east, and these strong winds just continue through the Caribbean, even as you get towards Kingston in Jamaica. About 37-mile-an-hour wind gusts earlier today. Strong east to southeast winds. That's going to be the big story, and it is going to drive in some rain, but the winds will be very persistent over the next several days. Now look, you get into the southeast. I'm going to turn off the satellite and I'm going to bring on the radar, and it's kind of a little preview of things to come as well. But take a look at this massive storm system. That's a 70-mile-an-hour wind gust in Albany, Georgia, with this line of severe storms, tornadic activity with it. And I mention all of this because this will be driving through the peninsula of Florida throughout Tuesday afternoon and then moving into the Bahamas tonight and into Wednesday morning. But earlier today, if I zoom in a little bit more here, in the Bradenton, Sarasota area there, over 50-mile-an-hour wind already, non-thunderstorm wind gusts of over 50 miles an hour. Now in the Bahamas already, for places like Freeport, we're pushing nearly a 40-mile-an-hour wind gust. In Nassau, about a 30-mile-an-hour wind, and that's just the beginning. This is where we have the gale warnings. Gale warnings are in effect for the Bahamas right now through Wednesday morning. Okay, winds could gust up to 50 miles an hour from time to time. Then we get that line of strong and severe storms. There'll be a water spout potential. We'll talk about, some of the other impacts, but the wind is crazy outside, obviously, certainly impacting boaters. And again, already strong winds, but they're only going to get stronger into Tuesday evening and into Wednesday. So this is the wind story. It's pretty unbelievable throughout the area. We'll switch over to our wind vector product here, and this is a forecast. We can take a look at this. So I'm going to switch over to that, put that into motion, and what we'll look at is the winds over the next 5 days. Now, the strongest winds are going to be in the Bahamas over the next 5 days, but there'll be a lull in the activity here starting late Wednesday and into Thursday and Friday, but then stronger winds for the weekend with another front. The more persistent winds are going to be through the rest of the Caribbean and the Lesser Antilles in general. I mean, we're just going to stay with these easterlies that from time to time will be gusting to 25 and 30 knots. It's going to be quite windy outside, and again, that will push in some moisture as well. Let's talk about the Bahamas right now. And again, take a look at these winds turning in. So for the remainder of this Tuesday, that's a strong south to southeast wind. As a matter of fact, I love to throw these on as well. These are going to be your wind gusts in knots. You can see those on your screen, and those are easily in the 20 to 30 mile an hour winds. But again, the model probably not picking up on the strongest of those winds coming in with the actual front. The winds will then turn out of the northwest. The winds will diminish as we get into late Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But then as we get towards the weekend again, here come more strong south winds that turn back out of the east and eventually out of the north here with our next front. So very windy conditions with the next two fronts. For the rest of our area, again, it's a strong east wind that just continues for us here. I'm just going to let this run over the next 5 days. And again, the arrow is pointing where the winds are headed. So from the east towards the west, anywhere that you see pinks and purples, those are going to be wind gusts of 25 to 30 knots. And this will bring in some rain as well. So let's kind of put a bow on the wind side of this by looking at the Grand Bahama Marine forecast. For the rest of our Tuesday, it's a south wind, which when the front comes through will turn out of the northwest, but 20 to 30 knots sustained, but gusts will be higher than that, seas building at least to 4 to 8 feet. Again, there is a gale warning in effect. Small craft are urged to stay in port. That gale warning continues through Wednesday morning. Now look, we're going to have strong winds to kick off our Wednesday, but the winds and seas will subside through Wednesday afternoon back down out of the north to 10 to 20 knots. Seas will be relaxing to 2 to 4 feet. Okay, so let's get into the rain for us here and talk about how that is going to look for us. We'll look at this over the next 5 days. Let me just make sure that, again, these layers are correct. And as I do so, thank you so much for liking these videos. And of course, if you're not a subscriber here to Meteo Mundo, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate the support here. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the model over the next 5 days and talking about a couple of areas of concern. Is there going to be a lot of persistent heavy rain throughout the area? No. I mean, we're in January, but again, there is still some moisture available here. Some of the areas that I'll be looking at are going to be through the Lesser Antilles simply because of these easterlies that we're going to continue. Again, 20 to 30 knots from time to time. It's kicking up the surf and sea conditions, and it is bringing in some moisture. And I mentioned places like St. Lucia and Martinique already with some areas of heavier rain over the last few days. If you've seen that, drop in the comment section below. Let me know. Let me know the winds that you guys have been seeing. But again, it's not a completely dry forecast, and the winds will be an issue, especially for you mariners out there. We'll see these showers continue to drift across the islands. And again, over the next several days, this east wind continues. It's not going anywhere, at least over the next 5 days. This will favor the eastern sides of the islands for the heaviest rainfall. But again, smaller islands, that moisture goes over a little bit easier. So for an island as big as Puerto Rico, I'm expecting more rain for places like San Juan and Fajardo compared to areas out towards the west. It would be the same thing for Hispaniola, where places like Punta Cana and Santo Domingo have a better chance for some showers than the the Haiti side, especially of course because of the higher terrain. For my friends in Jamaica, I don't expect a lot of rain, okay? We are going to have the easterlies. There's going to be the chance for some showers over the next few days, but nothing that's going to be very persistent or very prominent. It's about a 20% chance each day, but again, strong winds will continue. That will be a story. Now, let's get into what's going to be happening here in the Bahamas. So let me move over to the Bahamas. That's the satellite imagery that you see. I'm going to switch over to our high resolution model here, and we're going to take a look at the reflectivity. Let me get the satellite imagery off. So we're going to look at the next couple of days here and look at this line of strong to severe storms. Now, it's going to be moving fast it'll be weakening a bit. The intensity as it moves off of the east coast of Florida will be coming down a bit. It's a little bit stronger overall, this line, generally the farther north that you go. So let's stair step this timing wise. First of all, again, really windy ahead of this line. The line doesn't begin to move in until very late tonight. So late Tuesday night and then into early on Wednesday. Again, the line breaks apart a bit, okay? But along this squall line, we could have some water spout activity. We could have severe wind gusts. It's obviously going to keep the surf and sea conditions going. This is daybreak tomorrow, and it's only just moved east of Grand Bahama and Walker's Key. So places like Abaco and Eleuthera and New Providence will still be dealing with this. Now, again, I expect it to continue to fall apart in some ways as we get into lunchtime on our Wednesday, but there will still be some shower and storm activity for Nassau and Dunmore Town and San Andros, and then it does fizzle after that. So again, generally speaking, the farther north and west that you live in the Bahamas, the better opportunity for heavier rain, for stronger winds, for just more severe weather in general, because the line should be holding a little bit, more together before it falls apart. So High Rock and Freeport and Lucaya, those are the areas that I'm talking about. When we look at the wind gusts here, all right, so we'll take a look at this. We'll loop this over the next couple of days. Anywhere that you see orange are going to be wind gusts that could be over 30 knots. So again, you can see really strong winds from just far north of the Bahamas and then into the Gulf Stream, but we could kick up some 30 to 40 knot winds from time to time in gusts, not sustained, but again, same time frame. It's very clear to see the model picking up on the movement. There's your line. That's basically the wind shift line here as we get into our Wednesday morning. And then the winds really do calm down. It's going to be a lull in the action until later in the week when the next weather moves into the area. And one more look at that as well. Switch over to the reflectivity product for us here in the Bahamas. And again, we'll extend this time frame out over the next several days. And when I do that and put this into motion, you're going to see another front coming in into the weekend. Now, we'll talk about the timing of that because that's still a bit of uncertainty coming up, but it's the same scenario. It may not be as severe as the first one coming through here, but it's going to kick up the seas, it's going to kick up the winds into Saturday and Sunday, and we'll have a line of showers and storms that'll be coming through. So certainly the most impactful weather here is going to be in the Bahamas over the next 5 days, but that persistent wind through the remainder of our area is going to cause some issues. Again, let me know in the comments section below how that might be impacting you. We'll take a look at a couple of areas here as well. Trinidad and Tobago, one of the areas I think there's just a little bit more available moisture where we'll see some scattered showers there. Barbados, South, but anywhere really across the Lesser Antilles has at least the opportunity for some rain. A couple of showers for the ABC Islands, but again, I'm not expecting too much here. But the winds will continue to be a factor for Aruba, Curacao, and into Bonaire. Okay, let's take a look at some 5-day forecasts. Let's start off with Nassau. Again, most of the storms are going to be tonight through early tomorrow and then breaking apart. So later in the day, not as bad. A windy morning indeed. It'll be nice and quiet Thursday and Friday. Here comes our next storm system Saturday and Sunday. I put a 50% chance on both days. Right now I'm favoring later Saturday and into early on Sunday. But again, I'll be tweaking that forecast, looking at the timing of that next front, and I'll have more on that as we go through the week. For my friends in Kingston, again, there's not a ton of rain in the forecast. It is going to stay windy, still kicking up surf and sea conditions there as well. Stray showers are in the forecast, windy conditions in the forecast, pretty warm air is in the forecast as well. A couple of days, our daytime highs in the Kingston, Port Moore, Spanish Town area could be right around 90 degrees. And for Trinidad and Tobago, it's about the same forecast. These are pretty warm winds here, about 89, 90 degrees each day. I've got a few showers in the forecast for the next couple of days, slightly improved rain chances Saturday and Sunday, but over the next 5 days, there is the opportunity for Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados and St. Vincent and the Grenadines and St. Lucia and Martinique, all the way up towards Anguilla, to have a few showers coming in with those strong easterly winds. All right, so again, first forecast video of 2024. And there's a lot to bring you this year. Really excited about it. One of the other things we'll be doing is expanding our social media presence as well. We are on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can always email us pictures and videos at mymediamundo@gmail.com. We have an X account as well that we post our videos. So I need to update this graphic. But again, that's where you can follow us outside of these YouTube videos. And again, just very excited overall for what's going to be happening here in 2024 with the project, with Meteo Mundo in general. We appreciate your support again for the rest of the week. Strong east winds. We'll be watching for some really nasty storms up in the Bahamas here tonight and tomorrow. So we'll be thinking about you guys. And of course, we'll keep you updated right here. Have a great rest of your day. And I will see you soon right here at Meteo Mundo.